Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
We're good to go?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well, you said there was going to be a countdown, Peter. Like I'm expecting a countdown here. There's a whole new setup for us. This is the voice of the land here on the Big Play and Be On Air podcast networks. I am Kevin Arnold. He is Always Positive Jay to my left, and further to my right, it is Ryan Mosser at Dynasty Clee, the social media guru for this show that has helped us take off. Yes, we have a big guest on the show coming up at 8:30. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to talk some guards, Browns, Little Olympics, and get into an Olympian, two-time Olympic medalist, Katie Moon, who's actually in the Zoom right now. We can just bring her in right now if she's ready to go. I will give her a second as she gets connected to the Zoom, but Katie Moon is going to be joining us here in just 1 second. We'll get the go-ahead as long as everything is all set.
Clearly, she wants to talk about some Cleveland sports.
Clearly, she wants to talk, man. This is amazing. So we bring in two-time Olympic medalist in pole vault from Olmsted Falls, pride of Northeast Ohio, Katie Moon. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We have all been really looking forward to talking with you, and we appreciate you taking some time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I love all things Cleveland, so yeah, ask me on a Cleveland podcast, I'm in.
Yeah, I put on the Cleveland red, white, and blue just for you. That's today.
Right.
Katie, before we get into everything, just, this is kind of cool also personally because it's a full circle moment. Not sure we did get a chance to meet before, but I didn't get a chance to interview at the Cleveland Sports Awards back in 2022 after you won your gold. And then we kind of talked about how my family my two cousins went to Olmsted Falls, Joyce and Ethan Arnold. They ran track with. So it is really cool to get a chance to actually interview you and talk to you this time. The one thing I wanted to know right off the bat, I saw this all over social media. I don't know if you were aware of this or not. The chocolate muffins or cupcakes in the Olympic Village. Did you know about this, and did you get a chance to try them? And if so, how good were they?
Yeah, funny enough, I did. I did not get to try them because I was diagnosed celiac in 2022, so I am gluten-free. But I made a TikTok about not getting to eat them, and it went a little viral. So I had my own moment with them. It just wasn't, what we would want. But
well, we actually share that in common with being gluten-free. I'm also gluten-free. Okay. So I try to live vicariously through others. So I was living vicariously through other Olympic athletes because they looked really good. But yeah, if I even came close to touching that would not be anything good for me or my health. And that's in that moment.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, if it wasn't like the Olympics, I might risk it all, but
yeah,
I don't know if I can do that a couple days out.
Two-time Olympic medalist Katie Moon is our guest here on the Voice Land right off the bat tonight. And I mean, how does that feel hearing two-time Olympic medalist? I know it must have been a whirlwind after winning gold, but just now going through it twice and people introducing you that way. Have you gotten used to that at all?
No, I still haven't gotten used to Olympic gold medalists, years ago. It's crazy. I don't always feel deserving of it. I know that I've worked very hard for it. But it's very surreal. And to be honest, this time around felt, even though it was silver, it's felt just as incredible when I won in Tokyo. The whole experience was unbelievable, and everything that I thought the Olympics would feel like. Tokyo was amazing, but it just wasn't the Olympics, or what I thought the Olympics would feel like because of COVID and everything. And this time around was exactly, if not more than what I thought.
I saw an interview. You said it was the loudest crowd you've ever been a part of.
It was shocking. When there was a French athlete, it was during my prelim. We go out, it's loud, and you can feel the energy just feels a little different. But there was a French athlete running, I don't know, 400 hurdles or 400 or something, and it was deafening. I have never heard a stadium that loud before. It was, I almost had to like cover my ears. It was crazy. And so to be in that environment and compete and have those eyes on you and have my family cheering for me as I'm about to come down the runway, and then the crowd goes nuts when you clear a bar. It was just insane.
Now, you just spoke on something. I was watching interviews earlier today about you and how it's like you just said just a gold medal or a silver medal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to literally get to be in the Olympics is an accomplishment that's like unbelievable. You are the greatest of your country's just the chance to be able to represent your country is amazing in itself. And then to get any kind of medal, bronze, silver, gold, that's unbelievable. And your competitor from Australia, she is a beast. Like, you had a hell of a competitor, and you guys fought before, and I saw, and to overcome an injury that you did, because Kevin was there when I ended my softball career, when I ruptured or I tore my Achilles tendon, and you had tendonitis, if I'm correct. So to come back from that,
the same thing.
And
I'm sure all the doctors listening would be like, it's not.
Yeah.
My wife as a physical therapist is probably like, no, these are not the
Yeah,
same thing.
and I do not know any of the correct lingo when it comes to that. She'll correct me later too. But to come back from that is just awesome, and we're so proud of you. Like,
thank you. I wouldn't say nervous, but I just didn't know how the response would be if I didn't win, because I think there is just this athletes are there for your entertainment, this win at all costs. And I was so happy and proud of how it went, but you just never know how people are going to be on social media and online. And so everyone has been, I have not seen one negative thing about, oh, she couldn't get it done kind of thing. And I really wouldn't care, because I'm so happy. Like you said, winning the Olympics is just a different beast. It's one of those meets that it's just one of those things that no matter how much of a favorite you are, anything can happen. The pressure of the Olympics is just different. And there were so many favorites that just had a bad day or didn't even make it. And so to walk away with any hardware from the games, and it probably helps that I know that nothing can take away Tokyo. I will always be able to consider myself a gold medalist. So I'm just blown away by the support.
I'm actually glad to hear that you haven't seen negativity, and I haven't either, because we know where social media can go and all of those types of things. And I think that means that a lot of people were educated and they had perspective on what Jay was just saying, what it means to call yourself an Olympian, let alone a bronze medalist, a silver medalist, a gold medalist. Like, each new tier that you add, it just adds more prestige. And as he said, I mean, we can't be more proud of you. I know Cleveland is, America is, things like that. Katie Moon, gold medalist in 2021, silver medalist in pole vault in 2024 in Paris. Ryan, I know that you were really excited to talk to her as well, and we appreciate you kind of connecting with Katie as well to get her on the show.
Yeah, hi, Katie. Nice to meet you. It's interesting that you say, I mean, obviously it is the Olympics. It's the game of all games. The nervousness and the vibes. I mean, you have accolades going back from college, two-time national championship Division II, so many world, gold, silvers, and bronze, and then you have a gold medal. It's just interesting. First off, you're very humble because you are one of the best. There's only a handful of people that are in your category, in your sport, and that's just one thing that is just nobody can say that. 5 people can say that, so that's really, really inspiring. That's really cool. And in terms of negativity, like, if we saw that, Cleveland's got your back. You're one of our own. You're up there with LeBron. You're on the Mount Rushmore. So let me hear something about it.
Appreciate that.
There's only 2 times I love rehearing Cleveland, this is for you.
Right.
Yep.
It's when LeBron says it, and it's when Katie says it after she wins her gold. It is just those moments that give you those goosebumps. Katie, I gotta ask, how did you get in to pole vault? Because in high school, I ran track. My buddy and I were both long jumpers, and he was asked to pole vault because we didn't have anybody. We needed to score some points. So he just kind of took off with it. What was your story on how you got involved into the sport of pole vault?
Mine was the opposite. I was begging the coaches to let me try it. When I was younger, I did gymnastics. I always say gymnastics because that's what kind of lent itself to this, upper body adrenaline type sports. But I wanted to try every sport I possibly could. And when we were allowed to do track and field for the school, Olmsted Falls, they took the middle schoolers over to the high school, and I saw the older kids doing it. And I just begged the coaches for a couple days to let me try. And initially, I think they didn't want to deal with it. It's a high maintenance sport. You have to bring the poles to competitions. A lot of coaches don't understand it if they're not, if you're not very familiar with it, it's not the easiest sport to pick up to learn to coach. And but I just wouldn't take no for an answer. And there was when I first walked over, there was a high school girl and the high school coach that ended up being my coach all through high school, working together. And I just walked up and he said, "You want to try?" And I said, "Yeah, please." And I loved it. And the second day I landed flat on my back on the runway. So, and I still kept coming back. So
Could you imagine if they would have said no, though? Like, man,
yeah.
She wasn't taking no for an
I'm
answer.
telling you. Yeah, I did. I
No,
did
I
pole
wasn't.
vault in 8th grade too, so it was pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, I won my federal league conference. Pretty cool, but I didn't stick with it. So
Amazing. A win is a win.
Yeah.
I always say like no regrets, only lessons. And one of mine is not doing that, because that is one of the like not doing track in general, because pole vaulting looked so fun. Like you're way up there, way up in the sky. And I have to say, if you ever could marry into a better last name to fit your event, Moon, like that is so perfect. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's maybe the best thing my husband's ever given me.
It might be. We didn't see the ring, but it better be pretty good if it's going to be at the last. There it is.
That's a Moon
It's
rock
pretty good.
right there, yeah.
They're up there. They're pretty tied.
Now, I noticed that you do a thing before every jump to honor your dad. And I'll let you speak on that, actually.
Yeah. So my dad passed away when I was 16, and he was one of those dads that was super involved with my sports. With pole vault, he found my high school club that I would drive to an hour away twice a week in the summer and in the winters. And, he was signing me up for private lessons for things. So when he passed, I just always knew that I wanted to commemorate him, because he was always there. He was always finding time to come to my meets and to my sporting events. So yeah, I write dad on the inside of my spike, and I tap it before most of my jumps, but especially the big jumps. And you'll kind of see it, like if you go back and watch any replay of me like stepping up to do my approach, I'm like tapping my shoes.
Which is awesome.
That's really cool.
So I wanted to ask you, because these two guys here are younger, newer fathers, I'd say. And I know Kevin, he's a huge soccer guy, but he doesn't want to so much push it on his kid. If his kid likes soccer, he'll teach him it. What advice would you give new parents that your dad helped you become who you are? Because I saw you said something where it wasn't about him. It was about you guys. And if you could just speak on that.
Yeah, he wanted to just give us every opportunity. And something I'm so appreciative of with my parents is I did gymnastics when I was young. I tried everything. I did travel soccer. I did softball. My dad loved golf, and I like golf. I really like golf now. Growing up, it wasn't exciting enough for me to do, which I think bummed him out. But it just, I think the fact that he let me try things and didn't force me to stay in anything I didn't want to stay in. So for example, gymnastics, once I hit about 3rd, 4th grade, it was, you have to be there 3 hours a day, every day. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was pretty good at it. And I guess the gym would, send letters or call like, please come back. Now, whether that was just because they wanted, their paycheck, I don't know. But my parents were like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I want to try everything. And if I do this, this is all I have time for. And so they always listened to me when I said, I don't want to do this anymore. They let me. If I said, I want to try this, they would find a way to let me try it, but they never really forced anything on me. The running joke is like, if I tried something, my dad was going to put me in lessons and make sure that I really tried it, much to my dismay at times. But really, when I said I was done with something or didn't want to do it or wanted to try something, he was there. He'd be throwing balls with me in the yard. It was funny because I asked my mom, he seemed like he would have wanted a boy first. I'm the oldest. And she's like, no, he wanted a girl. But I think he got the best of both worlds because I wanted to play basketball and play catch with him and all those things. So yeah.
That's just awesome. Like,
it's really cool. It's really cool hearing that, especially like as new parents with Ryan
Definitely.
and myself, because I kind of had the opposite experience of you growing up, but like I still appreciate and love everything, the sacrifices my parents made for me to get to the sports that I ended up wanting to do. But like my past experiences kind of made me hesitant when I knew I wanted to have a family, have kids. I was like adamant, I don't want to coach them. My wife is against that. And she says, yes, you are going to coach them, but we're going to give them those same opportunities you just talked about. Like listening, I think, is the most important part. Like, what do your kids want to do and not want to do? And we talk about on this show all the time. Like we'll talk about sports, but so many other things, because whatever you're passionate about, you should go after. What does it mean to you to kind of be an inspiration for young kids too, and have a chance now to give back to the youth and continue to help build not just your own sport, but kind of be a pillar and a beacon for women's sports and how great they are?
Gosh, I just don't feel like I'm worthy of that, but it's so cool. If there's anything that I hope that anyone can take from my career is not just how I can, or not my literal competitions, but the way that I would compete and being a gracious competitor. And, I don't take it lightly that I know there are girls looking up to me and seeing what I'm doing. And I want to be very transparent in everything that I do because of that. When I was younger, you just look at successful athletes and feel like they have it all together and they're just good because they're good. And to some extent, sure, from a base level, yes, I have quite a bit of talent that I was blessed with, and I'm so grateful for that. But you can work really hard and continue to get better. And there are times when I am just in the depths of despair with this sport. And there are times when it's amazing. And I want to be really transparent about that. And I think something people don't realize about sport, especially one like pole vault where it's individual, is the majority of the time is way more difficult than good. And as long as you kind of go in, I want to be transparent about that. It is not all good. It is not all smooth sailing. I would say probably 30% of the time are like the happiest, best moments of my life. But the 70% is injuries, anxiety, stress, sadness because a practice didn't go well, exhaustion, being away from family and friends. And so I want to be really real about that so that, people can, one, know what goes into it and maybe appreciate it a little bit more. And don't get me wrong, it's worth it. Like it shaped everything about who I am. These moments have made it so worth it, but like it's a lot. And I want to be very real about that. And I take that responsibility very seriously.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wrestled my entire life. I wrestled for like 12, 13 years. I wrestled nationally all over the country, and it takes a major toll. I mean, and the fact that you can be transparent and just be honest and be like, look, it's great, but also it kind of sucks sometimes. Like, that's really cool. It's not all, sunshine and rainbows, but it's hard work, dedication. But if you put in the grit and you put in the time and the dedication, you can see the results, and you can be, you're the voice of that. And that's really, really cool. So
And I love that.
I have a lot of respect for wrestling. My high school friend was a wrestler. I saw it up close, and it's I could not cut weight. So
Yeah, it was hard.
I so much credit for that.
Yeah, I could have chose that or football. And I play. Were you at Ashland when they were in the GLIAC?
Yes.
Yeah, I played at Malone, so we played against you guys. I played football at Malone, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I love the transparency. I love, like, I'm kind of getting emotional, but like in the best way possible, hearing that transparency. And because I try to help preach that, but I don't have the background, and you do deserve all the accolades that you get, and to be considered one of those top. I know what you mean when you say you don't feel that, but you truly do. And as someone that, you know, even the mental health side of things, like some people still don't believe that that's a thing. And I love when people are transparent about that. I've, you know, worked on my own mental health. I've been very open that you know, things that I've done and career changes have caused different issues to go on. It's not always good in life. And sometimes you need other people to talk to and kind of work on those things. So thank you so much for being so transparent about that. Like I literally am like emotional in the best way possible, hearing that and hearing it from someone like you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, especially with social media, it's so easy to just see the, and so I want, again, when I started vaulting, that's when social media really became big. Just showing my age a little bit.
Hey, I'm the same age. We graduated the same year.
Yeah, me too.
I'm older than all you guys, so whatever.
Yeah, this guy's older.
I'm in my 40s over here. I'm like, yeah.
It's just so easy to get wrapped up in what other people are doing and play the comparison game. And I want to be very real about like your own journey and staying in your lane and just focusing on you and what's best for you. So thank you.
One thing I will say, and it's not even a question, but you said you lost your dad when you were 16. I'll tell you right now, you didn't. Your dad lives in through you and doing these interviews and how he raised you. You're going to help like Kevin and Ryan here and whoever watches. He's living through you, so he's still with you, and his message and how he raised you is going to continue on because you were just such a big star, and he's never gone.
Something else that you asked for a piece of advice: don't be afraid to be embarrassing to your kids. Like my dad was so embarrassing, and I get to look back on those moments as like he was goofy with us to the point where like he would help coach my team, and the girls, there was one day he didn't show up and the girls were like, he's not here. Like he like around me, but like not to me. And like, cause he was a lot. And I was so embarrassed in that moment, but I will forever be able to look back as he was there and he cared and he was involved. And now as a grown adult, I wish I could like tell, you know, my 13-year-old self, like, do not care. These girls are being mean. Like, they're not like, they would much rather have a dad that like cared and was there and involved than not. So just, something else. Like, don't be afraid to be embarrassing and just be there. Like it will mean a lot.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to excel at that because I make a fool of myself all the time. My wife says like those are the type of moments you'll be perfect at. So
to get off this emotional roller coaster that we're on right now, because we're all like,
and we do
choked up here.
Katie Moon, Olympic medalist, 2-time Olympic medalist, Wilmington Falls is our guest. We want to, you know, we value your time, but I know Jay has been talking about what he wanted to talk to you about. So go ahead, Jay.
I got nothing to do tonight. So,
all right, well,
I got nothing but time.
I probably already forgot what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring up the Guardians because you said you love to talk Cleveland sports, and right now we're and you said like, most of the time it's hard times when you're playing sports right now, and the Guardians are kind of going through a rough time right now. Have you been paying attention what's going on with them at all?
Admittedly, not a ton, but not because I don't love Guardians. It's just the timing. It's like the bulk of their season is when I'm in season, and I just like there's so much of an emotional roller coaster with what I'm doing that like I keep an eye on it. My family watches it and religious. Plus, I was living in Atlanta, so it wasn't like I could like just turn it on TV. Whereas in the fall, I'm in off season and preseason, so I can watch the Browns like regularly. So
what we need to do, we need to get you to a Browns game.
I haven't kept up quite the same way.
We need to get you to a Browns game, and you need to smash one of those guitars before the game.
Yeah.
They did ask me, was it last year or the year before, and it just did not work out, but I would gladly say yes again.
Oh, yes. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
I got an uncle that works up there. I'll make it happen.
Yeah, this guy's got some connections.
I'm a big Browns fan. Well, all Cleveland sports, genuinely.
So
I love rooting for them.
You're always in training and things like that, especially during the
Mm-hmm.
Guardians time. Like, how often do you get a chance to get back here, and whether take in Cleveland sports or just family time, like just get back to your roots? How often do you get a chance to do that?
Well, it will be a lot more now than it was before. So I had been living in Atlanta, Georgia. My husband was living first in Gainesville, Florida, and then in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow.
He's a rowing coach. So he kind of had to go where the jobs were, and he just got the job. Well, not just 2022, he got the job at University of Tulsa. So anytime I had some off time, I was coming to see Hugo. But now I just made the cross country road trip. I am officially in Tulsa full time. And so I will be back much more regularly. I will be back right after I have one more competition, and then I'll fly right to Cleveland. I have some family weddings, and so basically the second week of September, but then I'll be back again at the end of October, beginning of October, end of October. Like, I'm already planning several.
All right. You get back into Cleveland. Let's say you're hungry. What's the first spot you're going?
Oh gosh.
There's so many good
Question.
ones.
That's a really good one.
That's really hard.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Growing up, well, now with being celiac, it's changed the game.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But growing up, we would always order from Geppetto's, and I love Geppetto's. And now, unfortunately, I really can't do anything from Geppetto's. But my dad would always get the ribs. I'd always get the wings. We'd get the pizza. We just have a whole spread. I feel like being from Homestead Falls, you have to say Angelina's. That's just like a classic pizza place here. I say here. I'm not there, but I want to be.
We understand. Trust me.
You're here in spirit.
It's home.
Yes.
it always is home.
If we want to go more like nice fine dining,
Mhm.
I love Blue Point. That on the corner of, I know I can't think of the streets, but it is just,
West 6th and St. Clair.
Thank you.
Yes, I actually drive past it from work because I work down in the flats. Our radio station is down in the flats. So like I come up, and when I'm trying to get back on the highway at West 3rd, I'm going past Blue Point every single day now.
Plus, they have a gluten-free lobster bisque,
Yeah.
which I can't do bisques or soups very often. So and I'm a big seafood person. So God, there's so many. I could sit here for a very long time and just go through. But being gluten-free, they now have Bibi Bops, which I'm just trying so desperately to get them to put one out here. I would be in there every day.
Well, I've been trying to get a mod pizza here in Cleveland because I tried mod pizza. It's basically like a Chipotle style pizza place. And I went there in Seattle where it originated because my sister lives there now. And when she got married, she took us there because unfortunately, I'm allergic to dairy too. So it's very difficult sometimes.
I feel like I might be, but I just won't find out because I already had to cut gluten. I'm not cutting.
As long as you're not diagnosed, you're not allergic to it.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't know, it's not a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, the doctor told me to cut it all out, and then I started feeling better, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I understand. But I really like pizza here. I really like Primo's Pizza. Their gluten-free crust. I really like Primo's Pizza. And then places like Barrio, and I know Condado, kind of their competitor. Like, I love when places like that, and Barrio is my best example of when they put all of the allergens all over on every single thing, and you can piece together what you want. I can get a full meal when I go there instead of like trying to just, I can get this little thing here, this little appetizer here, and I'm not really filling myself up at all.
Yeah, they're Barocco, I think it's called at Crocker. That one's really, and pretty much everything on the menu is gluten-free, so that one's really good. I feel like growing up, we would always go to just like the chain restaurants. So like up at Great Northern, it was 5 minutes away. So I feel like I've started branching out more into like the Cleveland scene and some of the regular. What was the one? Is it Momocho?
Oh
think it
yes,
was-
yeah, because they have a plate. They
That
have like
place-
a thing inside Progressive Field.
Oh, do they?
Yes,
Okay, because
yeah.
and I'm not back often enough to really like explore out, but I went there a couple times before I was celiac, so I don't know what they would have now, but it was so good.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to at least try them to give you advice on that, but I feel like I've heard that they do have some options. So I'll definitely look into that a little bit more for you. Katie Moon, 2-time Olympic medalist, is our guest. Pride of Olmsted Falls. Before we do get you out of here, gotta know 2028. I know I'm sure people have asked you this, and you can shut me down as soon as you want to.
And I have 5 days with my no, I'm just kidding. No,
Is that crossing your mind at all just because it's on U.S. soil? I know a lot of athletes are thinking about trying to hang on maybe a little bit longer than they thought just because of that dream of being in the Olympics on home soil.
Yeah, the way the crowd was cheering for France, I can only imagine what that would be like. Here's the thing, if it was not in the US, I would 99% say there's no way I'm going that long. I'm 33. This year was injuries, and that's just what happens with age. And I know that I am on the back end of my career. It's so enticing that it's in the United States though, and I'm not saying no. It's just we have to take it year by year and see how I'm feeling, if I'm healthy, if I'm still enjoying it. It might be a whole different story now that I'm here with my husband and I'm coming home every day. I might really enjoy training, or I might say, I'm done, get me out of here. I will absolutely go through next year. There's an outdoor world championships in Tokyo, which I feel like is very fitting, come full circle. I really didn't get to explore at all when I was in the Olympics because of COVID. So I can't wait to go back. What's nice is I already have the automatic qualification because I won Budapest. So that's really nice. That makes that decision pretty easy. And if there was ever a year to have the automatic qualifier, it's in a big transition year. So, or I guess the time to do the transition is when you have that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer for you. I feel like once I hit a point where I know that I can no longer set personal bests, that there's really not a shot for me to medal, I don't know that I would feel super satisfied just trying to qualify for a team. And that's not to say that being on a team isn't a huge honor and amazing, but I feel like once you've had a taste of this level, it just wouldn't feel so great. And so yeah, we'll see. It's all up in the air. I'm, definitely going through next year, and then we'll see how it goes.
Well, let's just say you decide to call it quits. You will have a great career as a commentator. That will be for sure.
Thanks.
Because you were great on the mic.
Thanks. I love commentating. I've enjoyed it when I've done it. So I think that'd be really fun to get into.
Absolutely.
All I know is when I see you on TV again and my nephew's around, I'm like, yeah, I interviewed her. And that's one of the coolest things I get to do about this job is I'm like, yeah, I interviewed her. She's awesome.
The cred that he gets,
the
cred that he gets at home. And honestly, the answer about 2028 was what I was expecting. Like, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't at least ask, but for us and kind of really understanding what you were talking about when people have to do what's best for them, we wish you all the best in what you decide to do. Congrats on the nuptials once again. And it's so good to hear that you get to come home and be with your husband, be with family each time you come home from training. So thank you, Katie Moon.
Real quick, do you have your medals by you by chance? Can we see them?
It's been
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is the silver.
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
Looks
that
heavy.
side looks so cool.
Yeah.
The Eiffel That's the Eiffel Tower
That's so
bit.
cool.
I love that they implemented pieces of the Eiffel Tower in there too. Like, it's such a
Me too.
cool touch for that.
Yeah.
So we
It's so cool.
we really appreciate you showing that us and taking the time tonight. We will let you get off and enjoy some of your downtime before your next competition and time at home. But Katie Moon, 2-time Olympic medalist from Olmsted Falls, thank you so much. And we would
Friend of
love
the
to
show.
Can
would
we
love
get
to
a
have you
Cleveland? This
on.
is for you.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Love it. We would love to have you on again, Katie,
Definitely,
down the
please.
line, and we will
Anytime.
hopefully talk to you again. Thank you so much, Katie, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That is Katie Moon, 2-time Olympic medalist, pride of Northeast Ohio, pride of Olmsted Falls, and boy, what an
Interview!
What an
crazy.
interview!
I
What
told
a
you she
great
will be
conversation.
great as a commentator, man.
Like, that to me is what an interview is supposed to be, and especially if they have the time to do it.
Right.
That's a conversation
Yeah.
with somebody. Yes, like there was questions I wanted answered, but then it's
The
when we take
evolution
it
of the
further,
conversation.
the evolution of the conversation. And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding, and I don't care that people know this because I'm open, I am transparent, just like Katie. Like, tears were welling up in my eyes, like in a like a good emotional way, hearing her be that open and like feeling for her, but also understanding so many others go through that,
Right.
and being so inspired that she's willing to share stuff like
That's
that.
important too. And with that platform, you see more and more, athletes doing it. Kevin Love, during around 2016. There are so many more athletes that are stepping up and being like, hey, I am this person, but I'm not okay. And that's great because everyone's not okay, So
Yeah. And I know that the common adage is out there, it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
But in those instances, you got to be willing to reach out for help, and people have to be willing to help. There is still that stigma, though. There's people that won't talk about their mental health because there's this stigma about it, and there's people that will tell you it's not real, but it is. It is so vitally important to go through, as much as she goes through, other track athletes, swimming, archer, whatever sport you are doing, especially at the highest level, at the Olympic level, to get yourself ready for that type of pressure, that type of meet, that type of element, environment. When France is going crazy for their country people, like, a lot goes into that, and it's what we don't get to see behind the scenes. It's great to see it up on the screen, and Katie's up on the stand in Tokyo and hearing the national anthem, on the stand in France getting the silver medal. But like, what went into all that? And she talked about that, and that was, I think, a message that a lot of people should listen to, and I'm sure clips will be reposting this week.
I mean, my stomach was hurting coming in here for this podcast. I couldn't imagine on an Olympic stage going for gold and silver, So it's crazy. So
that was awesome, dude. I'm speechless pretty much from it. Like you said, there's points in that thing I had to change it up because I started getting emotional myself. I'm like, all right, let's talk some baseball or some Browns or something. Because,
but like I said, like, it was to get that emotional. Like, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It is. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
And I'm glad she said that there was no negativity. Like, that, the two things there. Like, if you were someone that was being negative to her and she didn't see it, you need to educate yourself, get more perspective,
cut it out
on what goes through that. And if you didn't get emotional when she was talking about that, that's one thing. But like, if you're hearing that and it's going one ear, one out the other, and you think that it's not real, again, please educate yourself. I have gone through it. I go to therapy. I have had to come to realization I needed to work on my mental health to be the best person, the best husband, the best father, the best teammate at work, the best person here for you guys and Peter and Jacob. Like, focus on you first, which I'm telling you guys, for the longest time in my life, I didn't. And it was just because I was brought up to help people. I cared more about success of others, and I kind of still do to a certain extent. I'm willing to help people. But when I made this career change, I don't boast, or I try not to boast or anything. But when I made this career change and I started to feel like I was good at this, like, that was for me. And I started to realize what it meant to do stuff for you, to then be your best to help others. And it's something I give a lot of credit to my wife, Jana, because she opened my eyes to it. And I love her so much for doing that and being that person for me, with me, and now having a son together and there'll be more kids. Like it means a lot.
One of the biggest things that stuck out to me too is how her dad just enabled her to do whatever she really wanted to do, long as it's something positive in life. Like he was there for her and supported her 100%. Like, if you're going to do this, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right, and got her in the right position to be an Olympian, a gold medal Olympian. Like, that's just good stuff there. And yeah, we probably could have talked for 2 hours easy.
Yeah,
probably.
Because I had so many more things.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, the second you came, you're like, "Oh, Jay had this great question." It's like, file not found, but it doesn't matter because it was just like whatever. I could talk all day.
Yeah.
Like, one of the cool things I saw that they did when she had the flag, and they're walking down with the other Olympians. They're like, normally everyone jogs around here. We're pole vaulters. We gracefully walk through this whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, she's like, I'm enjoying this moment. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, she is so Cleveland.
And you can never say she only won the silver medal her second Olympics. Like, if you characterize it like that, that is absolutely ridiculous, and you don't know what it means to win a medal. She didn't get to experience what the Olympics were in Tokyo in 2021, the 2020 Olympics, because of COVID. She got that experience. She can call herself an Olympian. She can call herself a 2-time Olympic medalist in pole vault. She can talk about all these other world championships, national championships. And I know she said that she doesn't see herself as someone that you can, be inspired by, look up to, and doesn't feel like she's on that level. Katie, you are.
Absolutely.
And that's not BSing. That's not blowing smoke. That is real as it gets. You deserve all of that. And I know that a lot of the young people, young kids that you reach back out to, it means so much to them. And I know you're inspiring new generations for not just pole vault, but going after what you're passionate about. And that's what we preach on the show. And I think she's a perfect person to have on the show. Before we kind of, wrap everything up, we got a few minutes left. I feel like we should talk a little sports. We're going to start that, but look, I'm willing to make that audible any day, any moment of the week. But first, the Guardians, tough stretch against the Royals, losing 3 out of the 4, but they do get the win today. You hope that builds some momentum. What I found really crazy, the stat I found crazy.
I know what you're going to say.
1-17 in doubleheaders in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and they haven't won one this year.
Yeah. They are 0-9.
I think so. 0-8.
0-8, 0-9.
Like, they're doubleheaders, it's impossible to have an odd number, but
it's like I know this team loves
this guy's supposed to be the math whiz on the show.
What?
You're the math whiz on the show, and it's doubleheaders. They don't play triples. 0-8.
0-8. There you go. I don't know. I saw someone put up 0-9. Like, I just didn't even faze
they're
me.
wrong.
It didn't faze me. But look, I know a lot of people are getting concerned, and inwardly I am. But I don't know. Like, I can't like pound the table and get all bent out of shape, because I know what this team is about. I know what the culture is about. And I know that they hate it more than we do when they lose a game, let alone the amount of games that they have lost. They hate it. They hate when the clubhouse is quiet after a game and they're not blaring music and all joking and laughing and having a great time. They care as much as we do. I think more. They actually care more than we do.
They definitely care more.
We don't realize it, and we can criticize the starting pitching, which a lot of that criticism is warranted. We can criticize the offense. That's warranted because it's not there. But I think it's important to keep it in perspective. Ryan, where are you? Are you like pounding the table concerned, or just like concerned, but like having fun this year to what they've done?
I'm just steady the course, man. I'm cautious. We're still in first place right now. I don't see that happening or staying very long. But as of right now, we're in first place. I think we're pressing way too much. Way too much. I mean, Kwan's come back down on earth now. He's still batting 300. It's kind of crazy to say, oh, he's now only batting 300. That's really good batting average. But it's a big downgrade. Also, Naylor has not been playing well at all. It's Thomas. Might be. We are praising, thinking he was going to be great, but he might be the worst trade of Guardians history. He is just not. He's a body out there, man.
I'm going to disagree with this. Everyone, that's like such a new bias thing. Like the worst trade of history. I mean, everything's the worst trade of history if the trade's not working out. Of the latest trade, like Watson, the worst trade of history. This is the worst trade of history. Like, just give him time, because all he has to do is bat. Let's say he has a great postseason, and then all of a sudden he might be the best trade in history.
Maybe.
I'm just getting annoyed with some Guardians fans coming at him, and it's like, I understand he's not doing good, but he's still trying his hardest. I promise you, dude. He is trying his hardest. He had a big hit the other day, and just give him a break, man. Like, I don't know. People are just wailing on this guy.
He's a professional, man. I mean,
I know.
I don't know. Get on base.
Because he can steal bases, too.
Yeah, great. If you get on him, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and people are calling him lame, Thomas, which
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I wasn't going to bring
that's where the line.
I wouldn't do that. Just do your job.
But yeah, I mean, he's not.
I'm not yelling at you.
Right. We brought him here to do what you're talking about, to get on base. And if you're not, criticism.
Baseball's streaky, though. I mean, like I said, it takes one good month, and all of a sudden he's a hell of a trade. I think everyone just jump into the gun on that.
I hope.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I hope so,
I would love to
or
see.
he's going to be a worse trade ever. What we need is Kwan. Kwan is the key to getting this offense going again. When he's going and he's setting the table for Jose and Naylor and those other guys, that offense is rolling. And right now they could thank the God for John Kinsey Noel, because that guy is saving them right now.
Yeah.
And he might be my favorite batter on this team to watch. Not like I love Jose's. Jose's going to be my favorite player of all time for the Guardians. But I love when John Kinsey hits those bombs and he just flips that bat.
You mean Pedro Serrano?
Yeah.
You just know when he does. And I'm telling you, that is a big human being in John Kinsey Noel.
I love what he's doing this year. I wonder what he's going to do next year. After getting used to it, he might be a big time hitter in this league for a long time.
That'd be amazing.
It's what do you do from one at bat to the next, one game to the next, one season to the
Yeah. But what you were saying with everyone freaking out and not freaking out, I had a moment where I even freaked out a little bit on him, and I'm like, you know what? I forgot this is baseball. It is a really long season. Do I want to be the hottest team in baseball like the Yankees right now? No, because I got a t-shirt that shows 22 games in a row that the Guardians won, a record. What happened that year? They got cold in the playoffs. I want them to get hot when it matters. Get there, get hot when it matters. I really, really want to win this division, because our home record is so much better than the road record. And I just want it for Cleveland more than anything.
It's starting to be, it's that time now where that turn needs to happen. If they're going to get hot going into the playoffs, you need to start seeing, series wins. And then maybe that builds momentum to when you're starting to win 6, 7, 8 in a row again. Win the series, then, focus on stacking wins together. Stack the series together first. Because every series, if they're going to approach this, and Austin Hedges has brought this from Texas, and I know he was a leader in that clubhouse the year before, kind of in a similar mindset with the culture that's been established. Expectations on this baseball team every single year with the talent and the pitching and all of that kind of stuff. Treating every series like a playoff series. Treating every series like it's the most important series. And that's what they have to do. And I want to see that. Hopefully there's some life in that clubhouse, and I want to see them come out against the Pirates, and I want to see that mentality. You can talk about the talent level of the teams that they play against or whatever, and okay, yeah, they're beating the teams that they should, but they're not beating the teams that are the good teams. You know where you build momentum? Beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. It's good habits in those games, in a hard sport like baseball that can then start to retranslate moving forward.
Well, we're moving forward into a new Brown season here. And
Yeah, we are.
what is it? 2 weeks from now, pretty much? A little less than 2
that.
weeks?
10 days, I think.
Too long.
You guys,
ready.
you said you had some big roster surprises that you were shocked
Not
by.
surprises.
The
Or-
initial 53, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, we
Initial.
have to call it the initial
Right.
53. It's not the final 53.
I mean, 4 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. I mean, there's no depth in 2 of those positions and too much in one. So I'm sure they're looking for trade partners or I
To
don't
hit
know if
on your
they'll-
initial, that's why
right.
you
Yeah.
said-
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how it all folds out and who they decide to bring in. But I mean, you were saying that you kind of like how it is. I don't like 2 running backs, especially with our depleted running back. Last year, all the running backs we were getting hurt, obviously Chubb, and so
We have a starting running back, right?
Jerome Ford.
right.
We just need another backup. So I'm not too worried. Running backs, you'll find like there's guys out there. There's always guys out there. I just not that concerned about the running back position like a lot of people are. And it's literally my favorite position in football, but I don't
Text me next Friday if they still only have 2 running
No,
backs.
Yeah,
in the
that's
roster.
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
Like-
saying. They're not going to. Yeah.
So
Right.
they're going to have
Right.
somebody else. They're going to find someone. Is he going to be some all-star? Probably not,
No.
Now,
but
make
he'll
an
be a guy.
assumption-
You need a guy. That's
Right.
basically it. And they're going to end up trading probably Huntley or just letting him go if they can't find anybody. And most likely they're going to get a tight end. And yeah, that stuff will fix itself. Right now, it's just something to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that next thing to talk about before there's actual games. Like I think I've been in denial about it, but we don't talk a lot about them in the offseason unless there's like a big story to talk about anyways, but we are getting into football season. Shout out to all the high school football student athletes, the band members, the cheerleaders, the parents, the soccer players, the volleyball players, the cross country runners, all the golf players out there in high school athletics in the fall. Of course, Friday night football got going this past week. So we are getting into football, college football, as much as last week is try to start the season week 0, stupid crap that they try to pull with that. College football starts in earnest this weekend. Then the following weekend, you get the NFL. You get the Thursday night game and Friday in Brazil and all of that kind of stuff. So it's like I've just been in denial about I can't keep talking about them because look, you're either like all Deshaun, no Deshaun, you're either this team is great, oh, they looked like crap because they're 0-3 and everybody should have played in the preseason. Oh, but we don't want them to get hurt. Like this back and forth and every single
You know why that conversation gets really annoying to me? And I was in one of the
all
spaces.
of them are annoying to me right now.
because-
but yes, why?
It's all hypothetical talk. Everyone thinks they're right, or the other person's
Yeah.
wrong. Like you were literally talking hypotheticals. There is no right or no wrong answers. It's debating and who do you think what they should do and what they shouldn't. But people getting like legitly like mad, like, oh, you're wrong. You're gonna see and blah blah blah. Like you don't know.
No.
I could be completely wrong, and Ryan's point of view could be completely right, and that sitting him might be right. A lot of the teams that agreed with Ryan, and some of the teams agreed with me. But guess what? We'll never know. So I can't.
Until they actually play.
Even if they don't, we still won't know the correct answer. Because let's say, okay, they don't play or whatever, and they're healthy all year. Ryan says he's right. But let's say they don't play and then they get hurt. I can't say Ryan's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if they would have there's just so many. It's all hypotheticals, and there is no right or wrong answer about it.
Like my opinion is that I am concerned that we won't see the Deshaun Watson that we need to have this team at the level that the rest of the roster tells you it should be at.
And
Now-
I'm in agreement with you there. That's another thing. Do you want to be right or do you want to be wrong?
I don't care.
No, you
wanna
want
win
want
games.
Deshaun
I wanna
Watson to be
win.
good. So you want to be wrong that the
Yeah,
concerns
like-
not.
I root to come on here and say I'm wrong when it's something that's like everyone else perceives as negative and against our teams when I'm just trying to be realistic.
No, this is
This
why
is-
people say this though. Is because there are people out there that don't like him that are in the media and they're just out there to bash him and to bash him and bash him. If he does good, they're not going to care. They don't like him and that why they have the reasons, that's on them, and I'm not here to debate that.
Well, you
But
know,
there
I
are-
still hold my reasons.
Yeah. But you
But-
want him to do good.
Yes.
I think he's not going to do good. I don't. I hope I'm wrong. I don't have
I agree.
I don't want him to be. I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like I don't. What's good about me being right? So I can be like, oh, I told you so. Like,
Yep.
but guess what? My football team sucks.
And if I am wrong,
Again.
I care that people come back and say like, I told you Deshaun Watson was gonna be good. Okay,
Great.
you are.
I enjoyed the ride with you.
Yeah, you predicted it. Great. I was wrong, but we haven't played games yet. Everyone that still wants to break this down and thinks they know what's going to happen, you can have an opinion on what you feel is going to happen, but people are literally putting it out there, Ryan. Like, I know that Deshaun Watson is going to be the best out there, and everyone's just out against him, and I'm going to show you. Like, I don't care about showing people up.
I just want to win games.
I just want to win.
Yeah.
This is football. Football was invented an hour south of that stadium.
I mean, that's why I made one statement why I thought he wasn't going to be good this year, but I didn't sit there and rail on it. I don't care because guess what?
No.
I'd rather react to what actually happens
You know
than
what
what
I'm
I'm predicting might or might not happen.
What are we railing on here, Ryan? We're railing on the people that just like they have to be right. Like this is why, like you said, the 10 days is too long.
Yep.
You're darn right it
Yep.
is. Whether I can sit here and say I'm excited about the season or not, I don't feel it like I have in past years. But I'm ready for the season to be here because I'm sick and tired of what if and he might do this, that person might do that. We have this roster that could do this. Let it play out on the field. I want Cleveland to win. Always Positive J wants Cleveland to win. Ryan Mosser wants Cleveland to win. Peter Tellep, Jacob Tellep, the Tellep family want Cleveland to win. The Arnold family, the Banky family, the Mosser family, and beyond. We want Cleveland to win. Katie Moon wants Cleveland to win. Stop trying to tell people that what you know is better than anybody else. If I say something that comes to fruition, like, I ain't going to feel good about it if what I'm talking about with Watson comes to fruition and we don't win a lot of games. I ain't going to feel good.
No,
Right.
I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
You're like,
But you
Damn.
can't blame me or people that
Yeah.
say these things
that's the other thing. They'll
because we're
blame
not
you.
impacting what he does or what this team does. It comes down to them, their coaches, and getting the job done. You've pushed your chips to the center of the table. I've said it. I keep saying it. I don't want to stop saying it because I want the games to start. But you've pushed your chips to the center of the table. It's time to finish the job.
Couldn't put it any better, Kevin.
See, this is
Hey, man, that is a great way to end the show.
It is.
We put all our chips on the table on this show.
What
and
a great show it was too,
It
because
was really
our
awesome.
conversation, go back, watch it on YouTube, here on Twitter, on wherever it's live, listen back to it, podcast platforms, Be On Air podcast platform. We thank our friends, our family with Big Play. We should be news coming soon. We should be entering the app atmosphere with Big Play has launched their app with a lot of the shows. We're just kind of working out some of the kinks to transfer because we're here. They do the stuff at Burke. But we have a great setup here. Peter has set us up. So they love that we have this setup. And so we'll be news coming soon on when we're on the app. For Ryan Mosser, Always Positive J, Peter Tellep, Jacob Tellep, all of you out there, good luck to all the student athletes here in the fall. Thank you so much to our guest, Katie Moon. We will look forward to we will have her on
Definitely.
this show again. A great conversation tonight.
After she smashes the guitar, we gotta have her on.
Yes. If she does it, somebody go in the somebody go
I'll
out
get
and
it.
go through the
Yep.
messages and
Oh, you, if you don't think I'm sending a message to a couple people tomorrow, you're crazy. It's on me to get that going.
we might take credit
'Cause,
for
hey,
that. But we
Like we
won't.
say, I don't talk about it. I be about it.
So for the crew here, I'm Kevin All, reminding all you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly, truly, truly love everyone 3000. We don't just say it because it was in a movie and in Marvel. We say it because it resonates with us, and it should resonate with so many other people. And live life, all gas, no brakes. Go after what you want. We will see you next time right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and BN Air podcast networks.